Now, it's interesting to me because a lot of people think that when the golf course closes, you guys are done. You've already talked about having to deal with the tree trimming and everything when the winter's, but give me a moment about equipment, because I presume that in the winter there's a lot of work done with the equipment and the type of, talk a little bit about the kinds of investments a club like yours has in equipment and what you do in the winter to make sure that investment lasts.
Yeah, that's a great point. Our winter is actually pretty short if you look at it in that whenever we can get out on the golf course, whether it be tree trimming or some of these other things, working on bunkers, drainage, whatever, if the weather's good, we're going to be outside. So typically somewhere around Christmas time is generally when winter sets into where we can't really get out too much. So you've got that point, and February, mid-February is about when winter loses its grip.
I hope so.
We really only have a couple of months. So this equipment gets used hard. It gets used every day, and all the reels get sharpened. Engines get tuned. As far as purchasing equipment, that's unbelievable as far as the last 20 years, what equipment costs then versus what it costs now, and availability. If you want a rough mower, you might have to wait a year and a half after your order to get mower.
And that's one of the few downsides of the growth of golf. There are so many people who need these things, and so few companies that make them appropriately, that it's hard to get it, which leads me to a question about the importance. How many mechanics do you have on your staff?
We have 1.5.
Okay.
We have one full-time and then another part-time guy who, he also works on the crew, so he's kind of a jack of all trades.
So when my friend here talks about the expense and the increased expense of these machines, the importance of a mechanic can't be overrated, because he can make that machine last an extra 1, 2, 5, maybe 10 years if he's the right guy.
Right. Right, it's very important. We try and take really good care, because if you look if you have a few $1 million inventory and you try and plan as far as a 10-year plan and break things out, what you need to invest per year, it's still a super significant number, and one that, it's always a fight for the dollars at the clubs, whether the clubhouse, the roof, the air conditioning, all that stuff always needs to be maintained, and we need to rotate our inventory as well.
Well, that's one of the important points that was just made. For those of you who are on greens committees or chairman, it's an excellent idea to take stock of your inventory and then try to plot out the useful life of that inventory so that you can inform your board in advance what the likely budgetary needs are going to be going forward. If you know that the useful life of a rough mower is going to expire within 5 years, then you've got a budget for it 5 years out, so all of a sudden there isn't this gigantic expense that they didn't expect. A good superintendent, and I just heard what they do, plots out these things, and then if you get a good mechanic, take care of that mechanic, because they will save you a lot more money than what you pay them extra to keep them around in the long run by making those machines last longer.
Right. And one other thing I know Derek Settle liked hearing about, we have one of the board meetings in the winter we hold down in the maintenance facility, and each equipment is we have a little card on it. Its original purchase price, its expected life, the age of that particular piece right now, and its expected replacement cost. And it's pretty eye-opening, and they really enjoy that part of it as they go around and check the equipment out.
I'm glad you did that. I've been recommending that in seminars that the CDGA holds for years, and I think it's a tremendous idea. In fact, and I think every Greens committee should do that as well. And the one other thing that we recommend is when you do have to pop for a new piece of machinery that costs a lot of money, we like to put it out by the first tee some weekend in late May, early June, so that the membership who comes out to play that day can see what they bought, because they had to vote for the assessment, and they can see what the machine looks like and how much it costs, what they paid for. So I think that's terrific.